Hey, hi everybody. In this video, I talk about getting out of triangles. We are all affected by triangles, primary triangles in our family of origin that causes problems as adults, triangles at work, triangles with friends, emotional triangles with coworkers. Triangles are everywhere because the dyad or the two-person relationship is inherently unstable. That eventually there'll be disagreements, issues, or higher anxiety will come up, and then we go look for a triangle to try to stabilize the two-person relationship. We'll add a third person, issue, problem, habit. We can add a third something to help stabilize this two-person relationship. There's the parent-child-parent triangle, parent-child habit of the child triangle would be a child lying, shoplifting, being lazy, homework problems, hygiene, whatever, but parent-child issue. And then that becomes a triangle that gets us caught. You can have the CEO, vice president triangle. You can have a worker and the supervisor and another worker triangle. You can have spouse, and then any third person triangle. You can have spouse, and any symptom or problem, such as husband, wife, or boyfriend, girlfriend, and then alcoholism will be a third leg in that triangle or that stool of a triangle. And you can have sibling, parent triangles. You can have sibling triangles. And these can cause great problems. And so we want to learn how to get out of triangles and also to resolve some original triangles we had in our family of origin. That will help us operate more freely as adults. In Peter Teitelman's book, A Therapist's Own Family, I think he's got a book on self-differentiation, cutoffs, even triangles. A great book on triangles. It's about that thick. And you think you can write that much about triangles? You can, because they are very significant and do create a lot of problems. Now, there may be some healthier triangles, such as client-therapist. That could be a healthier triangle as long as the therapist or the coach can maintain a healthy sense of self and healthy sense of position, not in terms of authority, but just knowing how they should function, utilizing couples therapy. So there are some healthy triangles, but I'm talking about the unhealthy triangles. And Teitelman, in his book, talks about 5 ways or 5 responses to triangles to exit them or to detach from triangles. The first is systems questions. Dad says to you, "Are you going to keep upsetting your mother?" And by the way, that's a triangulation statement. I'm talking for mom, and I'm talking to you. Now we have a mom, dad, child triangle just by that comment. And then system questions can be asked such as, well, do you think you and I talking about her will help? Because actually it's not going to help you and I talking about her. Mom and I have to have our own relationship if I'm the child, let's say. We have to work out this relationship. We might ask the question, so do you believe I'm responsible for mom's upsetness, Dad? And those are questions we ask to detach from the triangle that Dad's wanting to pull us in. Let me come to you and tell you you need to change your behavior relationship with your mom. Now, by the way, mom's an adult, the child's an adult, and Dad's an adult. We're talking about adult relationships here. There are times in which, as parents, we may need to be supportive of another parent with a child. And I understand that, and that's totally appropriate. But in some ways, that's not really a triangle. It is having a unified front as parents. That's different than a triangle. And having a unified front is okay with a child. Going to a child and say, well, your mother and I have agreed that this behavior is not okay, and I need you to stop it. Such as if someone's being disrespectful to their mom or something, and then dad can say, well, we've agreed that this is not appropriate, and I want to talk to you about that. We have a unified front. The second way we can disconnect or detach from triangles is to use I positions. And that's the straightforward declaring self kind of position where dad says, well, are you going to keep upsetting your mother? Why do you keep upsetting your mother? When are you going to stop upsetting your mother? Dad, I didn't believe my actions, words, or choices are the cause of mom's upsetness. I believe she is upset, but I don't think that's the cause of it. And that's me talking straightforwardly. You could respond, mom's response to almost anything I do or say upsets her dad. I'm being straightforward. That's my belief. That's how I see it. I might say, Dad, I think it would be my preference for Mom and I to handle our relationship. She's an adult, I'm an adult. I think she and I should handle that relationship. And if Dad goes, well, your mom told me to come and talk to you. Well, then you might want to go back to Mom and tell her that it would be best if she talked to me. We might also share, I know I am not causing Mom's upsetness, but I do think I might be a trigger for her upsetness, but not the cause. And then another response can be, I'm talking straightforwardly about how I see the situation. Only Mom can control her upsetness, Dad. I can't. And again, I want to get out of the triangle with Mom, Dad, and me. Thirdly, we can use humor. And again, it depends on how much high anxiety there is as to what response we can use. The more anxiety, the more straightforward we want to be. The less anxiety, the more we could be more playful or humorous or tongue-in-cheek. But humor is one. You might say, well, Dad, when is Mom not upset? And that's kind of a jokey, tongue-in-cheek way of saying, I'm not going to accept this triangle. I'm not going to be in this triangle with you about Mom. Or, well, I suppose if I were a better son, she would not be as upset. Again, a little humor, a little playfulness. And again, we want these responses to be matter-of-fact, calm, and not reactive. If they're reactive, they're going to blow up in our face. Dad, I think things would go better between me and Mom when I'm 60. And I'm looking forward to that. And let's say I'm a child and I'm 38 years old. Well, I'm looking forward to a better relationship with Mom when I'm 60. I think it will be better then. Again, a playful, humorous response. I'm not saying it to be mean. I'm saying it to say how unimportant it is and how unserious it really is. Because again, Mom may have been upset for decades. Why is it all of a sudden my fault? And many times we'll look for fault. Well, if Mom's upset, we must find a cause and root that out. Then fourthly, he talks about reversals. And again, the less anxiety there is, the more you might be able to use a reversal. I just wish you would stop upsetting your mom. Dad, I think that is your job, not my job. She's your wife. Or we might share, well, I've always been a thorn in Mom's side. I'm trying to adjust to it, Dad. I hope you will too. And I'm being very matter of fact, and I'm accepting the situation. And I'm not saying it to be mean. Actually, I'm saying it because it's really true, actually. But not everybody likes truth. I've gotten used to it. I bet you can too, Dad. And in fact, you probably have gotten used to dealing with Mom's upsetness and just adjusting to you not being a perfect husband. Fifthly, being unpredictable. That's another way we can exit a triangle. I don't find that unusual, Dad. I've known Mom to be upset for decades. And that's an unpredictable answer that he wouldn't expect. Or I guess being upset with an adult child is just part of life. I can live with it and learn not to let it bother me. Or, well, Dad, I guess it's my turn to upset Mom. And again, I like coming from a calmer, self-differentiated perspective where the situation is hopeless, but it's not serious. There's a good book written by that title. The situation is hopeless, but it's not serious. And that's how I want to come at Dad coming to me. Why are you upsetting your mom all the time? Why are you upsetting your mom? The situation's not serious. It's probably hopeless. I'm probably not going to be able to fix Mom's upsetness, and I probably won't. That's Mom's upsetness to fix. And so I wanted to share these tips with you, and I hope they are help to you. I appreciate you watching, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Have a great day, and be wise.